Hi guys, welcome back to Bowls Fan TV, and today we're back with another video doing the match preview for tomorrow's game against Galway United at Dalymount Park. Back at home after a very good away victory down in the RSC, 1-0. Very dominant first half, deservedly went in 1-0 up, could have been more. Second half we had to dig it out a little bit. We were asked a few questions of ourselves. I thought we still saw the game out fairly comfortably in the end, but we had to kind of show a different side to ourselves, to win that game. But I think it'll be a different story here tomorrow evening against Galway. I expect us to be, very, very dominant in possession. Galway will do what they do best, which is try and frustrate teams, and it's worked. A few times for them this season so far. You look at the teams that they played; it's more so teams in and around them. They beat Sligo, and their last game was a 2-2 draw against Dundalk, and they were quite unlucky as well not to get something at Richmond Park against Pats. So they've had a pretty solid start to the season. I think better than some people expected. I think we spoke about it in my predictions video how I thought they would probably end up finishing bottom of the league. But given their start, I think there's a good chance for them to potentially push higher. I think they've recruited quite well. We look at the players that they brought in. Chris Twardek, a player we know well, of course, and they brought in France Perrault as well, who once he gets up and running, I'm sure he'll score goals. So I think they are a team that are very well drilled. There's no doubt about that. And they have caught us a few times in Dalymount over the last couple of seasons. But when you look at a game like this, Galway at home, it should be 3 points. Especially when you look at our situation right now. We've had a great start. We're playing really well. We want to carry that momentum on, and I expect it to be a challenging game, but ultimately we know what to expect. We know that we're going to probably dominate the possession, and it's just up to us to make that count then, and be able to create enough chances, and ultimately take them to win the game. So looking at the team then, obviously when the team came out, it was quite a surprise. There were a few changes that we weren't really expecting, like Dale Rooney at left back. Look, I know obviously none of that turned out to be the way it was. Sam Todd did come in when he was originally named on the bench, and you'd expect the defence will probably be similar enough anyway. You'd expect Pat Hickey and Sam Todd as the two centre halves, Dara Power at right back, and then potentially bringing Senna Mullen back in. Obviously, he came on for a little bit in Waterford, so reverting back to that back four that's worked so well for us so far this season probably is the smart way of looking at things. Into the midfield, then if Senna Mullen is to come back in at left back, then bringing Flores back into midfield I think makes sense. In place of McDonald potentially. Even though McDonald probably hasn't done much wrong in the last couple of games, I think when that back four is fully fit and available, I think you just have to go with it. So I think bringing Flores back into midfield alongside Dawson, again, something that's worked really well for us this season, I think makes sense. Going further forward, I think it'll be Connor Parsons, Dale Rooney, Ross Tierney, and Colin Whelan as your front four, which again has been working really well. The old saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it. I think that's exactly the way you look at the team at the moment. With the form that we're on, you're not going to be screaming out for too many changes. So I think that would be my team anyway. It really is just all about being able to take our chances when they fall for us. I think we are definitely going to get chances. We are going to be in control. So when we are getting into the good areas, it's very important that we're able to take our chances. We don't want to be stuck in a situation where we saw it a lot last season, and I brought it up in multiple videos how there were times last season where we'd be playing against teams who were setting up in a low block, and they'd really frustrate us, and we'd really struggle to create chances. So we don't want to be stuck in that situation again, and potentially be caught out on the counter attack like we did a few times last season. So it's really, really important that we aren't stuck in that situation. That we do take our chances, we do create chances, and in the game, of course, that's what we want. We want another 3 points, and I think we will get those 3 points. There's nothing in the team at the moment to suggest that I'm going to change my tune all of a sudden and not predict us to win games. I'm going to obviously carry on thinking that, we're going to carry on the great form. So, yeah, I'm going to go with a 2-0 win. Despite our attacking talent, that can be hard to come by against teams who set up in a low block, scoring 2 goals. But I think we just shown more than enough to be able to say that, that won't be a problem, that there's the attacking players are on such good form that, that isn't a cause for concern. And it's the same with the back as well, even though Galway, have managed to score a couple of goals in some games this season. We've been so strong at the back that you can't really be too worried that we'll come under too much pressure. So if we can just keep building on this start now and carry on winning games, who knows where that could lead us to. We've seen it before with teams in the past. A good start can really be so important. When it comes to the long run, you're in that top 3, 4, and you have that bit of a gap. If you're not winning the league, at least you're in firmly in that mix for Europe. So let's hope we'll all be coming out of Daily Mail with the game with smiles on our faces and celebrating another win. So that's where I'll end it. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment down below your thoughts heading into the game, your score predictions, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.